Hi, welcome to the small shed. This week I'm going to glue a lid on a box and then cut it off again. See you in a minute. I've got a job in today that's a cross between a repair and a woodworking job, I suppose, really. It's a box that a lady that we know, or I know, has had made. I think it's going to be covered as like an embroidery box, and she wanted something with an opening lid, and what she's ended up with is not quite what she wanted. It's quite a nice box. There is a very slight rock in the base, but I'm not too worried about that. Some of that's my bench and some of that is this. Turn it around that way, it goes all together, so it's half between my bench and half that. It's been nicely made because this lid will fit on any way round nicely, so it's square, it's it's equal in the way it's been made, so I'm quite, there's nothing really to do with that. But what she wanted, or what she wants me to do with it, let me just put it back, that's the way it was originally built, I think. No, not that way, must have been that way. There we go. Yeah. What she wants really is just an opening lid which is on the top. She doesn't want that depth. So what I think I'm going to do, I'd like to keep the whole thing as bigger inside as I can. So depending on whether I can get these rebate pieces out, I don't know whether they've been glued or not, so that's probably the first step to have a look at and just see whether or not those are permanently glued in or not. And if they're not, I can take them out, and then it's just a matter of taking the lid off this and reusing the top sides, I think. Ideally it could do with some sort of a spline down the middle between this and the base to glue them together. But I think even if I just glued them face to face, it wouldn't be a problem. Oh, that's good news. These pieces come out without being glued in. That's a good start, really. So I'm going to take those out, and then I'm going to glue the lid back on. 12mm MDF. I think I'd feel happier if the lid itself was 18. So I'll have a look round. I've got some MDF, so I may be able to find a piece and cut down to suit. Piece of 18, yes, piece of 18 there. That would do me if I cut it down to the right size. That would just give me that bit more strength in the top that I think will stop it from warping or moving, and then we'll just put a straightforward hinge on the back of it. So I'll get that ready to cut down. Here's the walnut. Now that might do it, just a little bit of walnut, not too deeply in, but I think that'll just give it enough strength. It's just to hold that joint from coming apart too easily. That is, yeah, it's 3.5, 4mm. So if I put a small router cutter into the panel of the palm router, or I could even do it on the table, I suppose, and just take a little bit of a groove top and bottom. I'll just take that to locate it before I glue it up. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we get the router on. Before I glue it up and get it all, so I can't do anything with it for a day or two, I'm just going to mark the size of the new lid, and I'm marking it slightly big deliberately rather than try and cut it exactly. What I'm going to do is to make it slightly large, get the hinges mounted and fixed, get it in position, and then I can run around it with a trim router running on the actual sides of the box itself, and it will make sure it fits exactly. Just going to put a spot of the polyurethane glue into the rebate, and then I'll run along on the other half and do the rebate in the face, and we'll put it all together, and then I can deal with any squeeze out on the inside once I cut the lid off the box. Line up the marks that see which side goes where. Just tap that down and hope it fits. Right, get some big clamps on that now. We'll get the glue cleaned off, I think, as well. Just saves having to remove it later on. I mean, there'll be some growth of this stuff when it starts to foam up, but get as much of it off as we can. Right, so that's dried. Next day we'll need a bit of cleaning up, and no doubt the inside will be just as bad, but I think we've got the thing sorted. This will come off, but then I can just sand it up afterwards. It's not really that important because the whole thing will be upholstered afterwards. So so that's got the top cut off. I've got to clean the inside now, but that feels really solid. I was worried that this would all break away if I wasn't careful. Just sort out the internal spillage now before I get too much further into it. Now that's got it roughly sanded down to where I want it to be, I think. I've got the lid cut, slightly large, and as I say, once that's mounted on the hinges, I can flush trim router around it and it'll be exactly right. I've got some hinges I've just picked up from Wilko that are, I think, going to be suitable. I've got the hinges, they will go on there, and once the lid is on, that should work fine. I'll probably need a very slight bit of relief at the back to take the hinge. Just marked out where the hinges have got to go, and there is really very little to come out. That's fine, they just sit just level with the top of the sides now. And then while I'm about it, I'm just going to mark the positions of the little relief bits I'll need taken out for the hinges, for the pins, if I make that central. That's fine. That just means the back is now flush. Right, that's got the two main hinges on. I have ordered a stay for to stop the lid folding back on itself, but that's in transit at the moment. I've got to make sure now that these fit in the right place, and it's trick I shall use to do that is to put a spot of super glue on each of these hinges and then just place that on top in the right place. Shut the lid, and then hopefully that will then glue them on temporarily. I can open the lid and we've got all the screw positions markable. So let's have a go at that with the mitre bond. Something fairly thick, just give it a bit of a bite. Big blob there. Bit of accelerator. There, there. And then we just place them. Like so. And there we are, that's got the holes marked or located, and then we can pop a couple of screws in just to get them started. There we go. Right, that's now on there, and I can do the back is fine, just needs the front and side edges going around with the flush trim router, and I might put that in the table again because it's probably slightly better way of doing it than using the hand trim router. So that's got the top now flush all the way around. The whole thing's just ready for a good sand now, and as I say, I'm waiting for the stay just to stop it from falling back on itself, the lid. So I'm quite happy with that. There is one more thing I've got to do though, and that is to put a pair of handholds in it. So it needs some sort of oval holes putting through it, and I'll probably go just below the line where I took the where the joint is. I think I'm not quite sure at the moment where it's best to go, but I'll mark that out. I'll just do 2 holes at each end, connect the 2 together. And to join the holes up, I just use my little Japanese flush cut saw. Just get a start on the cut, and then just run the cut along, and then cut the hole out in the middle, and then file it up to suit. Right, that's put a stay on it as well now, so that the lid won't go back on itself and rip the hinges off. So as far as I can see, I think I've done as much as I can with it. It's not ideal. It would have been almost probably quicker and easier to start again, but this was something that the lady wanted doing, and I've done it the way she wants it doing, and hopefully if it's covered it won't be a problem anyway. But it's done. Another one out of the way. Hope it was of interest. Look forward to seeing you next week. We'll try and do something different, and I'll see you then. Bye.